I'm April, your host of Teachable Moments with April podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. Remember, teachable moments are all around us. Happy listening. Dialyze Direct has joined forces with CarePort Health to optimize the process of discharging dialysis patients from hospitals to our SNF partners. CarePort Health is the nation's leading care coordination network with thousands of providers connected across the U.S. In this episode of My 2 Cents, Is It Just Me? I want to talk about several things that I've seen online, as usual, and in different news feeds. So if this interests you, stay tuned. Okay, so for the first thing that I want to talk about is something that I've seen on a YouTuber's channel, and I believe her channel is Tommy Bites. Okay, Tommy Bites, and she is a prepper among other things, but she mentioned a trend that she had researched or found out about across the United States. I don't know about out of the country, but in the United States, fast food restaurants, very popular ones, quietly shuttering, or what some people may be calling soft closings, meaning one day you could go to the restaurant yesterday, and then you come back today for lunch or dinner and the place is closed. You didn't see any signs, you didn't hear anything. It just seemed like overnight. So what do you guys think about that? And she had a very extensive list, and I think she actually did more than one video. She came back several times to update the information. So why are so many fast food restaurants closing? That's one. The second question is, why are they closing and they're not saying anything? It's just literally, like I said, 1 minute you're there, okay, and then you go back the next day. I'm not exaggerating, and it's closed. No one knows anything. And she had expressed some kind of concern or, wonderment, okay, did the people that worked there, did they even know? Or did they just come to work and the place was just locked, the lights were off? Is this not strange? Then on top of that, the ones that are still open, people are starting to realize that they're not closed down, but there has been some reports of children that are not of age. They're 10 years old, 9 years old, working in fast food restaurants. I'm confused. Wasn't there some kind of child labor laws that were done back in the day before any of us were even alive? I think anybody probably hearing this wasn't living when they decided. I don't want to make that assumption, but back in, I don't know how many decades ago, why does this keep happening where children are being found, and sadly it looks like they're migrant children? So we got robots, AI, and we have migrant children who are not of age, that due to what I thought was child labor laws. Do the child labor laws no longer apply? Has something happened that I wasn't aware of? So you got them closing and no one knows, or you've been replaced by AI or migrant children. And they're working certain things inside of the restaurant. I didn't notice that, like the deep fryer, that there's some age constraints that I was not aware of, that by law unless the laws have changed, like I said, that they are not legally supposed to operate. See, I didn't know that part. A lot of people, when they got their first jobs, they worked in restaurants. I did not. I worked in a center or a school for people with special needs. So my first job was not in a restaurant like my peers, but they never really talked about their job, what they did in the restaurant. So, that's neither here nor there. But I didn't know that if you were of a certain age, if you did work there, you couldn't use certain equipment due to, it makes sense in a way, due to liability or whatever. That's what she said in her videos, and it's Tommy Bites, and she's on YouTube. She has some really great content. So if you have time, if you've never checked her out, check her out. So I think that's odd. There's a lot of that going on. So what is the secret? Why are the places closing? They're not saying anything to the patrons, the people that go there, that people that eat there. They're not saying anything. So are they saying anything to the employees? How are these people knowing that these places, are they knowing that they're closing? I don't know. What do you guys think? Now, the second thing that I want to talk about is something that I came across today. And actually, no, I take that back. One of the things I came across last night, and then the second thing I came across just now. The first thing that I saw last night was a YouTuber, and let me see what the name of his channel is. Oh, it's USCCA. I've never watched his content before, but what he had on there last night intrigued me. He said that recently New York City put up an educational video / public service announcement. And this particular announcement that they have been showing for the public is what to do during a nuclear attack. Now, in its he played it pretty much as in its entirety. And the young lady that's on there says this: there's been a nuclear attack. Don't ask me how, and don't ask me why. Which I found interesting, the opener there. She's very well spoken, but that kind of was a trigger for me. I'm like, okay. And then basically tells you 3 steps of what to do if there's a nuclear attack. Okay. Now that on itself, of course, is like, I believe in preventative things, because things happen, maybe this could happen. Quite possibly. There's lots of things going on in the world. So she goes on and she has these three tips that I don't know verbatim, and I should have wrote it down. But basically, go inside if you're outside, and basically clean your body, take a shower, take off the clothes that you have on, because they could be contaminated, because this is a nuclear attack, a chemical attack. And to basically stay inside. Okay, it's pretty much common sense, more or less. I mean, if there's some kind of agent or poison or whatever you want to call it that's outside, you're not going to keep standing outside, right? No, you ain't going to do that. So you're going to go inside, you're going to stay inside, and you're going to wash your body. You're going to wash it off and do your best so you're not contaminated. Although there are certain things that even if you were to do that, sadly, that still would not help, but we're not going to get into that. So anyway, the video is that. Now, the thing about that is that today, then I came across another YouTuber, and I think his YouTube channel is Go Shen. I'm going to spell it GOSHEN, prepping. So if you haven't already figured it out, I watch a lot of preppers and people who are into that lifestyle, because it's interesting. You just never know. They have some great tips. And on he said that on May 19th, something was published online, and it said that a hopper carload carrying 30 tons of ammonium nitrate, which is actually a chemical used in explosive, disappeared or was lost in transit from Wyoming to California. It just disappeared.